So we have Chris. So the person who's next. Is Kristan Noone here? Oh, Kristan. Kia ora. Welcome. So thank you for making a submission on the medicinal cannabis legislation. Please don't be nervous.
My son said if I get stage fright, I'm going to embarrass him, so I'm not.
Oh, do you want him to come sit with you?
You don't need to get frightened.
He can come sit with you if you'd like.
Leave mum out there, eh?
So we've got 5 minutes. I'm going to put the timer on, and it's more just to keep us all focused.
Yep, let's do this.
So thank you.
Okay. My name is Kristan Ramsden, aka Noone, and I'm not a statistic or a case number. I'm a human being, a contributing member of society. This means that under the Human Rights Act, and I quote under Part 1 of the functions of commissions 1E, to promote and protect the full and equal enjoyment of human rights by persons with disabilities. That I can confidently tell you that today there is a massive breach of this act within our nation. I can tell you that as a woman who has survived many horrific things in this world, that I am no less worthy of exercising my rights than any of you in this room. Just over a year ago, I lost the full function of my body. I'm now very much disabled. I am in torturous pain. Every single day, I burn alive from the inside out. If I hadn't found medicinal marijuana a couple of months ago, I don't believe I would be sharing this speech with you today, because I was weighing up the options whether it was better for my kids to survive the trauma of one death, or as opposed to seeing what I was going through on a daily basis. If I was to throw gasoline over you all right now and light you on fire, would you deem me cruel for holding the hose and not putting you out? But that is what you expect of me. Apparently in this country you are only worthy of quality of life and death, and you tell me how am I to trust in a government who doesn't support quality of life while I am living. It's justifiable, however, to drug me up on ridiculous amounts of medication that makes me sick, that destroys my memory, it makes me high, not to mention the damage that it does to my body. I want you to look me in the eyes and tell me exactly where in this situation is my human rights. Perhaps I could bring to you my 4 children who have had to adapt to a mother who isn't really there anymore, and you can tell them where their human rights are. We are not asking you to allow us to sit on bongs all day living in a scene of that 70s show. We are asking you to treat us like human beings and allow us to access medication that is natural. And it is saving people from suicide and thousands of drug overdoses every day. Whether you like it or not, there is a movement happening within New Zealand, and I need a lot more time than 5 minutes to present to you the facts and the statistics. So I leave with you this thought. I am on fire, you all have the hose. Are you going to put me out?
Thank you very much, Kristan, for sharing, I guess, how much medical cannabis means to you and your life, your quality of life, your ability to function.
All I want to be is a mum.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. So
I've worked very hard in this country.
Yeah.
And I want the right to live again, because I don't want to be choosing between suicide and, what's better off for my kids.
You have access currently, is it, to one of the pharmaceutical?
I sure do, and I wouldn't be here right now if I didn't have taken it last night.
So is it Sativex or
Pardon?
Tilray? Is it the pharmaceutical
No.
product? Oh.
And another thing that I just need to quickly highlight is one brand doesn't fit all.
Okay.
You can't just assign one brand and think it's going to help everyone for their ailments. You need different ratios, different compounds,
Yeah.
And it needs to be researched and done properly.
So the substance that you take, how do you know that that's been researched and done properly?
I trust the woman that's doing it, and I trust in it because of what it's done for my quality of life. I don't burn alive anymore. I used to sit there with water, came in eyes the whole time trying to put ice packs all over my body, crying and screaming and trembling in pain and begging my family to massage my body and put cold tea towels on. The next day I wasn't burning anymore. My bones weren't feeling like they were being crushed in a vice.
You've got a central nervous system issue. Have they actually given you a diagnosis of anything?
Yes, they've diagnosed me with chronic regional pain syndrome and central sensitisation. I've just had another surgery, hasn't done anything. In fact, it's set me backwards. I took my medicinal cannabis into the hospital and I told them I have no shame or embarrassment about using it because it doesn't get me high. My medication gets me high. I'm on 2,700 mg of gabapentin a day. And I also am trying to run a business and look after 4 children on this medication. And it is so hard. So
in terms of when you take your medicinal cannabis, do you take the other drugs as well? Is it both together, or do you? Yes, because at the moment I'm weaning myself off, but it's because it's such a intense drug. I can't just do it straight away because I could have seizures and heart attacks and all that stuff. So I am currently weaning myself off pharmaceuticals, and I've managed to wean off 300 mg so far. You know. And over what length of time are we talking about?
Well, before surgery it was over a couple of weeks, but and because I've had surgery I've sort of gone backwards a little bit, but I'm back down to the 300 mg again, weaning off, and I'm confident that I can get off it.
And so how long have you been taking medicinal cannabis?
2 months, and 2 months ago I was wheelchair bound or in my bed, and I wouldn't have got here today. There's no way.
Thank you. Anna Hela.
Yeah, I was just going to thank the kids for coming along.
I mean, he's my biggest supporter, and they're very sad at the loss that they've had, you know, because I was a very hands-on mum. And I asked him on the way over if he's noticed that I've stopped crying and in so much pain, and he said yes. And that's because I'm on this new medicine, and I said I'm not allowed to take it, and he can't understand why.
What did the hospital say when you showed them your...
There's not much knowledge about my condition in New Zealand because there is no cure. They don't know, and each individual patient is different. But because I'm so straight up with my specialists and everyone that has anything to do with me, they just went with it because I don't know, you know, I just don't. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to want to be better and to have quality of life. It is the legislation that makes me a criminal and a bad person in the eyes of, you know, other people, not what I'm doing.
So how long have you had this illness?
So I've had it 15, 16 months now, and I'm still going through treatment 3 times a week. And I've had 0, I mean, the next step for them was opiates, and I refused to go down that way because I lost my dad to liver cancer from being a junkie. And sorry, I shouldn't say that, you know what I mean, he was a 70s guy.
Yeah.
And eventually killed him, you know, so I just don't want my kids to watch that. And I don't get high off that. I take 2 capsules at night. I have the best sleep ever in the world, and I don't burn from 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's given me my life back. Like, I'm still disabled to a degree, but I can still smile for my kids, you know, and be there instead of crying in my bed, begging them to rub my body, you know.
And just one last question. This may be a foolish question, but if you've had this for 15 and 16 months, why has it taken to you to the last 2 months to find medicinal cannabis?
Because I didn't know. I was desperately trying, and I was researching because I didn't want to just do it. Do you know what I mean? Like I have to know and understand everything, so I will investigate everything about my condition, everything about medicinal marijuana, and I've learnt so much, and it is just incredible. And I was just lucky that I stumbled into the right. God led me to the right place. I prayed very hard before I went. Before I was making my final decision of whether to leave or not, and I found a lady, and she's taught me about natural things, and I just don't even trust in the medical system anymore, and that's where I'm going. I'm treating myself, and I'm getting better.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.